What's up guys, it's Amelia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking my absolute favorite drugstore and high-end makeup and applying it to my face. These are the products that I just found myself going to over and over and over and over again, no matter how much new makeup I got. I also have a bunch of like runner-ups and like other recommendations. So yeah, if you guys want to see my absolute favorite products from 2018, then just keep watching. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start off with some primer. I'm pretty sure all of my subscribers know this by now, but my absolute favorite primer of this year was the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willowherb. I just feel like it's a really unique primer. It's really fun to use and spray out, and I just feel like it helps keep my oil at bay all day, and it doesn't break me out. I also feel like it just creates a really nice smooth base for the foundation to go on top of. I have really textured skin, so anything that helps smooth it out is like amazing in my book. So when you spray it, it comes out freezing cold because it is in an aerosol can, so it gets me every time. It's so incredibly cold. Oh my goodness. Another primer I wanted to mention, this Smashbox 24-hour photo finish primer. I am in love with it, you guys. This eye primer is seriously so freaking amazing. Now, it's not the greatest at like hiding redness or anything, but it is phenomenal for people who have extremely oily eyelids. When I used to apply eyeshadow without this primer, it would always crease or kind of just slide off because my eyelids are just so oily. So I really like using this anytime I'm putting on eyeshadow without like concealer or without like a full face. Like I just want the eyeshadow. It just comes out like this creamy color kind of. You know what? I'm just gonna put it on my lids to show you. I don't need it because I'm gonna be putting concealer on, but it's basically like this nice thick cream, and you just apply it with your fingers, and it just creates a really nice base. It's super long lasting. I've like literally worn this through like 12-hour work shifts, and my eyeshadow lasted the entire time. Did not need one touch up. So yeah, this is pretty life-changing. So next I'm going to be going into some foundation. Now this also comes as no surprise if you've literally seen any of my tutorials within the past 6 months, because I've been using this for pretty much every single one. This is my favorite foundation of seriously all time. It is the Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation, and I have the shade LN3. This is seriously the best foundation for textured skin. Like if you have acne, you're gonna get the coverage, but also the smoothness. And this is from the drugstore. How can you beat that? Like, you can't. But I just put it on the back of my hand and then take my foundation brush. So just kind of dab it in there, and then apply it to the face. I feel like this is definitely more of a medium coverage foundation, but I do find that it does build quite nicely. So I feel like I've definitely been able to get the full coverage with this when I want it. I feel like you can definitely get more sheer coverage if you want as well by just gently applying it to your face with a beauty sponge. So once I get to my desired coverage, then I like to go in with concealer. Now there are two concealers that I'm kind of having a hard time choosing between because both of them are so amazing. So the very first one I have is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I actually have 3 shades of this. I tend to use the lighter one for days where I want brighter under eyes, and then I tend to use these two to kind of help cover up blemishes, or if I'm going for a slightly more natural look, then I'll go into the slightly darker one than this like super bright one. So that's why I have 3 of these, but oh my gosh, the formula is so amazing. It's definitely a lot more creamy. I feel like it really provides amazing coverage and blends into the skin so beautifully. But I do think the concealer I'm going to be using today is this Tarte Shape Tape. Now I got this little mini one as a sample in, I believe it was my Ipsy, and it's in the shade Fair Neutral. I seriously love this concealer so incredibly much. I reach for this one all the time. I think slightly more than my Maybelline ones, but it's seriously like a really close tie. I feel like this provides just a beautiful even amount of coverage, and it just applies so smoothly, blends into the skin beautifully. But I understand why there is a cult behind this concealer. It's I wish I tried it sooner. That's all I have to say about this one. And then for concealer, I like to take just a mini beauty sponge and blend this out. I'm also gonna take just a little bit, put some on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, and then on my chin as well. Just so we can brighten up the face a bit. Okay, now moving on to powders. I do have a couple of powders that I want to show you guys. So first things first is an under eye powder. This powder right here is seriously life-changing. It is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the banana shade. Again, if you've seen any of my tutorials this year, you've definitely seen this guy right here. Anywhere you apply this, I just find that it brightens that area so nicely, and it just gives off such a beautiful, almost like blurred, smooth finish. And it seriously sets any kind of concealer or foundation so beautifully. I've never gotten to a point where I applied too much of this. Like, I could just keep packing it and it won't look like I have any powder on. I also have fallen in love with 2 powders this year. The first one is the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder. This powder is seriously amazing. It has not broken me out yet, which is pretty phenomenal. Powders tend to break me out a lot as well. It doesn't really give you a cakey face at all, which is also very, very nice. There is a slight peachiness to it, so it does, I feel, darken the skin a little bit, so I definitely try to avoid my eye area or any areas I want like super bright with this. I think that's the only downside, but it smells amazing, it tastes amazing. And then another one I really wanted to mention is this powder from the drugstore. It's the No. 7 Translucent Perfect Light Loose Powder. I feel like it gives very similar, slightly blurring effects just as the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder does, except you don't have the smell, you don't have the darkening. And I also feel like it's not as cakey as a lot of other drugstore powders. I feel like it does brighten the skin actually a little bit, so kind of does almost the opposite of the Peach Perfect. But I feel like, oh, the finish on this is seriously so beautiful, not cakey at all. It doesn't feel heavy at all. Personally, I think the Peach Perfect powder slightly controls the oil on my skin a little more, keeps my skin more matte compared to this one, but this one definitely brightens the skin, gives it a more youthful glow. So depends how I'm feeling that day, what I want to do and which powder I apply, but these are my definitely top 2 go-tos. I'm going to be moving on to bronzers. So the very first bronzer I have is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer. I've used this so many times, pretty much for every drugstore tutorial. I really love the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer as well. However, that one breaks me out, whereas this one, yeah, this one does not break me out. I also love that it has a slightly more ashy tone to it, so it's not going to give like that super like orange look to it, which I'm not a big fan of when it comes to bronzers. I also really like to use this when I go for more natural looks. I feel like it just creates a beautiful, almost like you were just in the sun kind of bronze. And then the other bronzer I really like is this kit right here. This is the Smashbox Cali Contour Palette. I cannot say enough good things about this. First of all, the color options are beautiful. All of the blend into the skin so beautifully, and I love how you have like a really darker contour shade and then a lighter bronzer. Then we got 2 shimmery shades right here, a blush and then a face highlight as well. So many options in this little kit. I personally really like using it almost on an everyday basis, but more so when I'm just kind of glamming up. Plus it comes with this gorgeous huge mirror. I'm gonna be dipping into the darker contour shade. I also feel like both of the bronzers, the L'Oreal bronzer and this bronzer, they build up so beautifully. Like, they're gonna start out a little sheer, but once you build them up, they're just like, Plus this one, if you apply too much, like, it blends out so nicely, so you don't have to worry about like overdoing it. I also like to take a slightly smaller brush, dip it in there, and then go along the sides of my nose. And then I also want to dip into the bronzer over here and slightly place that right above where I placed the contour, definitely into the temples and on the forehead as well. Next we have blush. So for the drugstore one, I love this Burt's Bees blush, but it has to be in the shade Bare Peach because I tried the Shy Pink one and the pigment just wasn't as good. Like, the formula was different somehow. If you're someone who likes to really pack on the blush, this is for you because it only takes a couple of little dips and you're gonna get, oh my goodness, some beautiful, beautiful color right here. It's really, really easy to blend out and pack on, which is something I really like about this blush. I personally love blushes where you dip it in once and you're gonna get product to work with. I feel like a lot of drugstore blushes especially, like, you dip it in and like barely anything happens. This definitely gives you pigment and it's just the most unique color. Like, it's like a really pretty peachy, it's like a fall type of blush. And then I also love this high-end blush right here. It's the Hourglass one. Now, at first, I did not like this blush at all. And I think why is because every time I dip my brush in, I felt like I wasn't getting like enough product. It was really subtle. But I feel like after like I've kind of used it for a while, it's like dug off the like surface. And so I feel like I get a lot more pigment with it now. And it's one of my favorite blushes ever because it has the ambient lighting effect. By the way, this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. I don't think I said that. But I love using this blush as like on its own if I want a really natural look or as a topper. This isn't as pigmented as the Burt's Bees blush. However, putting it over the Burt's Bees blush just gives off a beautiful illumination. And it's a very, very light color. Using these two colors together are my power duo. I just really like the finish it kind of gives on the face. I'm gonna dip back into my number 7 powder and kind of calm the look down because I do feel like I went a little overboard with the blush as usual. But yeah, just take a little bit of the powder, put a little bit on a brush, and then gently buff it into the skin, and that's really gonna tone down any kind of look. So if you do go overboard on the blush, it's okay. Okay, so next I'm gonna be going into some eyeshadow. To be honest, I actually had a really easy time picking out which palettes were my absolute favorite because these are like, I go to them every single time, and every single time I use these palettes, the look just comes out so amazing. No matter what I do, it comes out amazing. So the very first palette is one I actually picked up recently. This is the Smashbox Ablaze palette. I've had it for less than a month and it's seriously one of my favorite palettes of all time. All of the colors in here are just so gorgeous. I actually picked this up at TJ Maxx for $13. That is a steal. So definitely go check out your local TJ Maxx or Marshall Home Goods because they might have this in stock in your location. I feel like it's very comparable to like the Modern Renaissance palette. Like it gives off those vibes, I feel. But all of these colors just complement each other so beautifully. They're like super pigmented, but they're like also really easy to blend. So I'm just gonna dip my finger into like one of them and kind of just show you guys like how nicely that is. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. Plus it comes with a really nice mirror as well. It's perfect for traveling with. But I also have another palette that I'm going to be using today that I think slightly tops this Ablaze palette, and it is from the Vault collection from Jaclyn Hill. It is the Ring the Alarm palette. I will say I think the Smashbox, I really like their packaging a little bit better on this one, but this one's like really fun and pretty. So when you open it though, like these shades, they're so beautiful no matter what shade I dip into. Like it just comes out heavenly on my eyes. It also has a mirror, which again, love. I'm gonna swatch the Siren shade. It's definitely a lot more buttery than the Smashbox. So this is the Siren shade right here. It's slightly darker than the Smashbox one. Plus this palette is only $15. Like you are getting high quality stuff with this palette. I'm gonna be real with you guys though, like look at the shades. They're very similar, but trust me, when you swatch them, they're very different from each other. The only problem with this one is it doesn't have a light color to like, you know, kind of provide you with a base. So always make sure your eyes are super set with powder. Where am I gonna go into first? I think I'm gonna go into the shade Rush. I tend to use this one for my crease shade, so just lightly blend it into the crease. So I love it going into this framed one. So I like to put this shade in the outer corner and then kind of blend it into the crease. Okay, then after that shade, I love to go into the Siren shade. It's almost like a warmer version of the frame shade. It's also, I feel like slightly darker as well. So I like going in the really outer corner and then going into the crease, but only keeping it like halfway. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you guys what I'm doing, but I'm taking the Lolly shade in this palette right here and pushing it all over the lid. After that, I like to warm up the look a little more by going into this Balm shade right here. I don't like to say the second half of the word because and I just like to keep this in the outer half of the eye. And then last but not least, I dip into this dark Secret shade right here and apply that to the very outer corner. Then I kind of just take a fluffy brush and just blend out the edges a little bit. Then I like to move on to the lower lash line and pretty much apply the same colors that I applied to my top lid, to my lower lash line. Okay, next is eyeliner. Now these eyeliners right here, my absolute favorite of all time. The first one we have is the Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Eyelining Pen. From what I remember, I feel like last year in my Best of Beauty, this was in it, but this is still my absolute favorite liquid eyeliner because it's just so easy to work with. It comes out with a beautiful, nice, black, intense line. I love it. You can't go wrong with this. Like beginners, experts, you need this in your life. And then my other two favorite eyeliners are these pencils right here. They're from Urban Decay. They're the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil, and I love the shades Rockstar and Demolition. The purple and the brown I feel like are the easiest to work with compared to a couple of the other colors I've tried out. So I'm gonna be taking the shade Rockstar and aligning my upper lash line. By the way, these eyeliners stay on like all day, like literally all day, like 24 hours. And these Urban Decay ones, even like when you're washing your makeup off, it's like a struggle to get these off. That's how good they are. Right, next I'm just gonna curl the lashes and then we'll move on to mascara. So I love mascara so much. Like I really had a hard time choosing which were my top mascaras because they're all just so amazing. So the very first one that I've been loving recently is this Buxom mascara. This is just gonna give you really nice everyday wispy lashes. I feel like it definitely lengthens the lashes as well. It definitely gives a little bit of volume, but nothing too crazy. So I think this is seriously like the perfect everyday mascara. And then I love this Marc Jacobs mascara so much. I used it a lot more at the beginning of the year than I do now, but it's still one of my favorites. I just find myself going back to it a lot. I feel like this is a mascara that definitely gives you like a lot more volume. So like the more you layer it, like the more vavoom you're gonna get from it. But you can also wear it as like a quick like whoop whoop everyday like really nice volumizing mascara. Another one that I've been really loving recently is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. Now if you want a mascara that will just glam up your lashes and give you full volume, full length, fierce, spidery lashes, it's really good for super glam looks, and it's from the drugstore. Can't go wrong with that. I just can't get over the wand on this. You can seriously get so close to the roots with how teeny tiny this wand is. And I think this is probably my favorite mascara of the year, I think. I don't know, it's so hard because I love so many mascaras. This is my go-to everyday mascara, and I'll tell you why. No matter how long I have this mascara on, no matter how much water or sweat I come in contact when I have this mascara on, this will not transfer to the area under your eye. There are going to be no flakes when you use this mascara. This is your go-to ride or die mascara. It's going to give you amazing volume and length to your lashes. Like you can totally just do one or two coats to get a really nice everyday lash, or you can really build it up to give you super glam lashes. It doesn't clump, which is extremely nice because I'm not like the biggest fan of clumpiness, but it's gonna like give you that volume without like clumping. Okay, I also wanted to include false lashes in this because this year was the very first year where I actually like really tried false lashes, and I'm like really impressed with how much they can just transform an entire look. And you guys seem to really like it when I apply false lashes. So I have been in love with these Eyelure accents. I feel like they're super amazing for beginners because first of all, they're accents, so they're not gonna go over your entire lid, which means you really don't have to cut them. I feel like they're gonna be able to fit any eye. And it comes with lash glue, and it comes with like a nice little applicator to kind of help you put them on. Eyelure seriously has like the easiest fake eyelashes to apply. I get them on every time, and rather quickly as well. So for someone who's new and just practicing, these are seriously so good. Okay, moving on to brows. These are the two brow pencils I keep reaching for like on a daily basis. The very first one we have is the ColourPop Precision Brow Pencil. This is actually one of my most recent additions to my makeup collection. I used it for my full face of ColourPop video, and I was surprised how much I love this. The precision on this is seriously so crazy. The brush is really good. The only thing I will say is it is kind of hard to turn to get a little more product, but I feel like it has gotten a little looser as I've turned it. I feel like you do have to spend a little more time kind of blending this one out, but overall this is like amazing for the price. Plus I feel like this color is seriously one of the best. I feel like for a lot of dark brown brow products, they're a lot more on the warmer side, but this one right here, you can kind of see it's slightly cooler, I feel. I'm gonna quickly compare it to my Kat Von D Signature Brow because this is another one that I am obsessed with. And the colors are actually really similar. Like, look at that. Like, the colors are so similar. I think that's why I like this one as well. It's not like as warm as a lot of the dark browns I've had. I do feel like the Kat Von D is slightly more precise, a little more easier to blend than the ColourPop one, but I feel like they're so incredibly similar. Okay, now I'm just gonna set the brows really quick. Now, I used to be obsessed with my e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel. It was super inexpensive. It held my brows so beautifully. However, once this product right here came into my life, there was literally no going back. No going back. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I'll be real, it does make your brows a little crusty. Nothing crazy. Like, I personally don't mind it. Like, I don't really notice it throughout the day, but these will set your brows and keep them in place all day. Literally all day, you guys. If I don't have a brow gel in, you can expect my brows to be in like 40 different directions because that's just how they are. They like to be free. So to tame them, I put this clear brow gel on, and I literally don't have to look at my brows for the rest of the day. I feel like with the e.l.f. one, it worked so nicely, but I do find like maybe like halfway through the day, I'd find like just a little clump like in a slightly different position, and I did find it really, really hard to like reshape them. Now we're moving on to highlight. Oh, I love highlights. So I have 4 highlights to show you because I could not decide. So the first one I'm going to show you is the e.l.f. Baked Highlight in the shade Moonlit Pearls. This is just so amazing for $4. Like, it gives you that beautiful just pop. Like, oof, you can totally tone it down if you want like a more subtle, but it will give you that like bam highlight in your face if you really want to. So if you build it up, it works so beautifully. This is another one that I am head over heels for. This one, that's the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Celestial. If you want to sparkle and be seen from space, this is the highlight. All you need is seriously the tiniest drop. Even that's like a little too much. And you just blend it into your skin and you just get the most blinding. Oh my gosh, look how blinding that is. Use very, very, very little bit and it'll create that nice subtle look, or even put it under your foundation and it creates a very, very soft highlight, which is so beautiful. But I definitely think this is a product more for people who like really, really intense highlights. Oh my gosh, this next highlight, this might be my very favorite. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. It is limited edition. They did just bring it back. I don't know if it's still around, but definitely go check Sephora.com because this is back in stock. The packaging on this is so beautiful. Like, it just looks like waves of light. Ah. And as you can clearly see, I definitely made a dent in this. And just like it says, it's literally sun in a compact. Like, that is the best way to possibly describe this because, like, look, like it's intense, but there's no like chunky glitter. It's literally like you are putting the sun like on your face. It's just so intense but blends into the skin beautifully. Another highlight that I am really, really obsessed with is this Fenty Beauty one. This is the Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, and the packaging is freaking stunning on this one as well. Like, oh my goodness. It comes with a definitely more sheer one, which is the shade Lightning Dust, and then this one right here is a little more tense, a little more glittery, and this one is the shade Fire Crystal. I personally love layering these because this one is very, very glittery, intense, and I feel like this one is just a perfect base for it to kind of make sure it blends into the skin beautifully. So I'm gonna try and swatch it for you guys. It is very, very light. So I don't know if you guys can see that right there. It is pretty light, very subtle. And then I'm gonna swatch for you Fire Crystal, which is just, oh my goodness. Look how intense that is, you guys. I'm gonna layer it over my beautiful, beautiful Anastasia so we can get like extra shine here today. So next is lips. I have 3 products that I want to share with you. First is this Physicians Formula, the Healthy Lip. I've talked so much about this, you guys. Seriously, not only is this such a gorgeous, beautiful nude color, it dries down matte, but it's still comfortable on the lips, and it literally stays on your lips all day long. Like, I have eaten in it, I have gone literally 8 hours in it, and it's still on my lips, still looking really good. I don't have to worry about touching it up throughout the day. This is personally my favorite color. I actually have 4 of these, which is so rare. I never have more than like 1 of a certain kind of lip product, but I had to pick up 4 of these because I cannot get over how gorgeous they are. All of the colors are so stunning. Another one I am so obsessed with is this Huda Beauty Liquid Matte one in the shade Bombshell. As you can see, it's very, very similar to the Physicians Formula one. However, I feel like it is slightly lighter in color, but that's seriously such a beautiful one. And then the one I'm going to be applying today, it's actually a lip mask, but it does have like a lip color to it. But this is Bites Beauty Agave Lip Mask in the shade Smash. It just creates a really nice sheer, almost like reddish kind of color. And what I love about this is that it's a lip mask. So it keeps your lips super hydrated, really repairs the lips so much. And it, I don't know, it just gives like a really nice color. I think that's what I love about it. They come in a couple colors as well, so I really want to pick up the others. This has been my go-to because it's been winter time and my lips have been very, very chapped. I've also fallen back in love with this recently, and I know I loved it at the beginning of the year, which is why I am including it in this video. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. This is seriously like this will just melt your makeup into your skin. Like, don't be afraid to go in there. Just drench it on your skin, kind of pat it into your skin, and oh, it just makes everything sink in so beautifully. It does give a slight glow, but you can always put like a powder over it. And then to set everything, I obviously use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It's my absolute favorite. I think I tried out 1 or 2 other setting sprays this year. This is the only one I've really liked. This seriously just helps keep my makeup on for the entire day, like literally 12-hour days. And coming from someone who has super oily skin, that's phenomenal. I feel like everyone uses it at one point in their life. Alright you guys, so that is everything. This is a full face of my absolute favorite products from 2018. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. It really, really does help support my channel. And question of the day, what is your absolute favorite makeup product from 2018? Please let me know down in the comments below because I would seriously love to know and try them out. Oh, and just a reminder, I am going to be doing a live stream right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday, December 23rd. So be sure to mark your calendar, set an alarm for that. It's going to be my very first ever live stream, so I'm honestly a little nervous for it. I've definitely been having some technical difficulties, but don't worry, there is going to be a live stream. I'm mostly just going to be glamming myself up for a fun night out that day, so hopefully you guys can totally be there and help me pick out my makeup for the evening, like what look I'm going for. Plus I can answer any questions you guys have, and we can just talk about like fun makeup and stuff. Also, if you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Amelia. If you guys want to see more beauty tutorials and reviews and just fun stuff like this, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button that is right down below. And if you're already subscribed to my channel and don't want to miss a single video that I post, be sure to hit the little notification bell that is right next to the subscribe button. This way you guys will get notified as soon as I upload a video. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.